everybody. So Shazay is here. I'm out here in my mad science laboratory. What you're looking at right here is a Stirling engine. This here's an old steam engine. I'm going to talk about both of them. I bought this on eBay, so if you go look up Stirling engines, you can probably find the same exact model. It cost me about $73 for this particular deal. Stirling engines are a pretty simple concept. This one here actually has a little generator built into it with a belt that goes up to a pulley system. If you look on this side right here, this is the exhaust port, and what happens is whenever this has got rubbing alcohol inside there, and so when that heats up this tube, it causes the hot air to expand, and it pushes this piston in and out. See, when that one's closed, when it's all the way down there, then the hot air expands, it pushes it out. When it gets to a certain point, it releases the hot air out the opposite side over there, which basically, there you go, just like that right there. I will fire this thing up here in a minute and let you see it run. But Stirling engines are pretty neat. They're pretty easy to build. It's a project that you can do a little bit of research online, find all kinds of information about. But it's a piece of old technology that still has the capability of generating electricity, and so it is an alternative energy source that's worth looking into. This one right over here is an old steam engine. It works kind of on the same principle, with exception inside here you put some water up in there, and it turns into steam, and the steam pressurizes, and then basically the steam comes out of the tank into this cylinder right here, which has two holes. One of them is for the steam pressure to push the piston outward like that, and the other one is for the steam to be able to exit out the exhaust port. So there's two holes on there. One's for the steam to come in, and one's for the steam to go out. This one even has a nifty little whistle on there. Let me spin this around. Now you can see the opposite side. Pretty much the same concept like the Stirling engine, with exception is it uses steam. This particular one right here I bought, I'm not exactly sure of the date. I'm going to have to look into it real quick, and I'll do that here in a second. But anyway, this is a couple different ideas from the old days for using steam generation to generate power, hot air expanding and contracting to basically create more power. And I'll go look that date up there real quick, and then I'll get back with you and show you this thing running. Well, first looking at the steam engine on the right, there's a really huge article on Wikipedia, and basically trying to look into the history of it. It goes back into the 1800s, and some people say even farther back in there. The history of the steam engine stretches back as far as the 1st century AD. I will put some links on my video down there so that you can see the Wikipedia link that I'm looking at, and I'm over here dropping stuff off the shelves. Sorry about that. But anyway, both of the Stirling engine and the steam engine aren't new technology. They've been around for quite some time. The Stirling engine, basically Robert Stirling was a Scottish inventor, and the closed cycle air engine is what it was called, is back in 1816, and then it was suggested that as early as 1884 that all such engines should therefore generically be called the Stirling engine. So yeah, it's pretty interesting technology that's been around, been available. You know, you got wood gasifiers, and you got Stirling engines and steam engines. So as far as producing electricity in a worst case scenario, you could build these pretty doggone easy, where you wouldn't have to necessarily use fossil fuel, you know, burning alcohol or burning wood. That steam engine that you're looking to on the right, that in there is a toy back from back in the 1900s that actually had electricity to it, and so it uses electricity to boil the steam. I might try to fire that up for a bit, but I've only got it to work about one time because it leaked like a sieve. There's steam coming out in all different directions, and I actually got the horn to toot at one point, and then so I got to do a little work on that. I tried to do a little soldering around the pressure valve there, but it still leaks enough to where it's not building up enough pressure. But I'll see if I can get that running and get a little piece of video in here for you. And I'll start this Stirling engine up now so that you get to see how it functions. Anyway, both of them take some time to get going, so I might cut and splice this video a bit. Well, everybody, you can see the Stirling engine's going. I had a heck of a time getting it started because of the alcohol that I was using in the deal, so I used a little tea light candle to heat it up. And so right now it's not kicking really fast, but it has to build up some speed inside there. You'll start listening to the RPMs get higher. When it gets high enough, those little LEDs from the generator should kick on. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit and kick back on as soon as the LEDs start showing up. I've dimmed the lights down a little bit. You can see that so far the little generator hasn't kicked on yet. It's so doggone cold out here in the mad science laboratory. It just ain't because it works on hot air expanding and contracting. It seems to be cooling down too fast to actually get the thing to go. It works better in the living room in there, but either way, I'll keep tinkering with it. When I get the lights to come on, then I'll put it back in the video there. One of the things you might notice as you're looking at the video with this thing running is that black soot that gets around the glass tube over there. That's why I didn't want to use the candle, because it leaves a black soot on that thing, and the alcohol, which, because it's so cold out here in the mad science laboratory, alcohol don't burn really good when it's really cold outside. But it'll get that black soot will clean off of that, and I'll use just the alcohol from here on out. It's just like I said, it's so cold out here you can't get it to run correctly. So far we haven't built up enough power. I put my electric heater over there. Try to warm the area up a little bit and see if that makes a difference. Well, you can see the lights are starting to come on. Apparently I developed a real big clump of carbon on there off of that candle. You could, and so that was taken away from some of the tincture. What you see is I put a piece of metal around it to hold in the heat a little bit better. So now the RPMs are raising up, and you can see the lights beginning to start charging up. Eventually they'll run pretty steady when it gets going good. But either way, the Stirling engine, using the hot air and compressing the hot air and cooling it back down again is how this little system functions. It's a really neat little deal, and you can see you can actually generate electricity with it. And like the steam engine, I used the steam engine back in the day to run trains and everything else. I'll try to get the steam engine to go, but chances are I'm going to make more of a mess than anything, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. But you can see right there, it's Stirling engine going. It's like it's so cold out in this mad science laboratory of mine that it's kind of hard to get this thing to run steady. So I'm going to let this run for a second, see if I can get those lights on brighter, and then I'll come back on there. Well, you can see it's still going there. Apparently, when I was in the other room when it's nice and warm and toasty in there, it functioned really well. Got to a steady light on there and did just fine. But like I said, it's so cold out here in the mad science laboratory that it just doesn't want to get completely up to speed. But there you go, folks. That's the Stirling engine. Pretty neat little gizmo there, and I'll shut this portion down and try to see if I can get that steam engine going, and probably not going to be able to get it running. I've only had it running for a few seconds at one point, but you got to factor in this thing is so old and it leaks steam like a sieve, so it's not doing too well. Anyway, you can see my lights are dimming down a little bit there on the Stirling engine. It's cooling down too fast and not getting a chance to get up to its full RPMs, but when they're under the right circumstances, they run fine. And so if you've got one of these in a closed system to where you can save all the heat you can whenever you're burning whatever it is, whether it be alcohol or wood, to actually build a Stirling engine. Check out Muddy Mudman. He shows how to build Stirling engines out of coffee cans. That's pretty neat little business. I was starting to get a little bit juice going on there, but anyway, I'm going to go on the steam engine in the interest of time there. Well, everybody, you can see she's steaming away over there, but so far it's not built up enough pressure to do anything. I've noticed the biggest part of my problem is the cylinder right here keeps filling up with moisture, so it's probably condensing before it gets a chance to push the piston out. Get a little bit of steam pressure built up. Looks like it's starting to do something there. I didn't put a whole lot of water in there, so I got to be careful not to burn it up worse than it already is. I actually had it running for just a few seconds. Now let's hope we can get it do it again. Anyway, I'll keep tinkering with it and see if I either burn it up or get her steaming. Alright then, sorry folks, it don't appear like the old steam engine's gonna give anything to me here. But I'll tinker around with it a bit and see if I can get some of it running. Keep in mind this was made back in the 1900s, so it's pretty old. To get to work is probably going to be a miracle. I had to solder around this edge right here because it was leaking real bad, and you can see there's a little steam exiting out of the sight glass, and I'm not getting enough steam pressure built in to actually do anything. So I will keep tinkering around and see if I can get her to go. But you see there's a lot of moisture coming out of there, so it seems to me like it's condensing into water before it gets in that piston, and it's filling that piston up with water. And so it's not wanting to work right. It should get hot enough to where that wouldn't happen. So you don't want to stand there for hours and watch me sit there and spin that wheel. I'll keep working on it, see if I can catch a little bit of it going. Well, so far no go. I'm going to let it cool down a little bit and fill it up with a little water. I did a few adjustments on it and maybe I can get it to go. Alright, sorry about that folks. I was hoping to see this old steam engine get going. It was made back in the 1930s by a company called Weedon. I'll put a picture in the video. It used to have a little stack on top of there, a little smokestack looking deal, and there's the flywheel side. Looks like I'm going to have to dismantle it. The sprung a leak somewhere. I think it sprung a leak right down in here and possibly somewhere else in there. I think I poured the water in too soon. It might even crack the tank itself. So I'm gonna have to take her all apart and get a rebuild kit and try to see if I can't bring it back to life. Anyway, there it is, folks. There's the steam engine and the Stirling engine. Hope you liked the video. Peace and love, everybody. Take care. That's me again. That's really a bummer. I sure wished I could have got that thing going. You can see right up here at the top where I had to solder around there, and this is where what used to be a safety valve, and so now it's apparently it's got a leak down in here. There's some little seals down here, and Just have to take it completely apart and see if I can get it to go. I at least got to see it run one time for a few seconds, and I actually got to hear the whistle toot on there. Got to keep in mind this is made back in the 1930s. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. But that's the company named Weedon. There's a company out there, website. I'll try to put a link to it where you can go see some of the other models. This is a model 702, and they have other models out there. But man, it sure is a shame. I wanted to get that thing going for you, but maybe I'll rebuild it and get it going later. Anyway, this is a better look at the Stirling engine on the opposite side. That's the exhaust side of it right here. It's where the air cools down. And this is where the air heats up on this side right here. Got a little bit of soot on there from using that birthday candle. I'll have to clean that up. And then it comes with a little bitty deal for your rubbing alcohol. And that's the Stirling engine. You saw it light up. It's a way to generate electricity. There's two old technologies that can still be used today. So it's one of the other eggs that you can throw in your basket, so you don't basically put all your eggs in one basket. You can use all different types of ways to harness nature's electricity, and I'll keep up the good work out here, and hopefully you'll stay tuned and see what I'm up to, and I'll get you the answers you need. Peace and love, everybody, and take care. Ah, crap, I'm still filming. Anyway, it's colder than crap out here. I'm going to wrap this video up and get her going. Peace and love, everybody.